Hello guys, kimjonglirtw here, back with another online commentary battle for Rome Total War. This time it's a 1 versus 1, sent in by Esrax, who is playing as the Scipii Romans in this game, and his opponent is Cleo, of the Greek clan, playing as the SPQR or Senate Romans. They've both just brought 14-6 builds, and yeah, it's pretty even at the moment, nothing's really happened. Um, Excuse me, so I've just fast forwarded it to this part. When it's even like this, and it's 14-6, it's 31k, it's quite important to find an early advantage, preferably through the infantry, so that you can really capitalize on that. Force your opponent to make the first charge, and then come in with a counter, and hopefully that's where you start to swing the game in your favor. So that's why both players are working really hard to keep their peeler on point and on target, because peeler is one of the main ways you can get the infantry advantage. And it's important to get the early peeler out, not only because it's very good, but because you have less peeler in the end game in most cases. And we can see Esrax wasting a little bit of that on this urban cohort, which I think glitched out a little bit and then formed a testudo. But yeah, in the end game, you've probably had some guys killed by charges, some guys dying in the melee, so you will have less peeler to throw. And that's why both players are working really hard to get as much peeler out of their urbans as early as they can. Obviously, they don't want to throw into the testudos, because that would just be a waste. So we can see at this point we are a fair way into the battle. They finished the deployment fairly quickly, so this is has already been at least a few minutes. Neither player has actually charged with their cav yet, and I think this is a good thing, personally, because in a 1v1 31k rules battle, you need to be fairly conservative with your cav, and oftentimes when you charge in and you route a unit, you risk getting that cav unit hit by peeler, and reducing the numbers of that cav unit, which is not good. And even if it does route the unit, say Cleo charges in and routes a testudo, often it comes back because you can't really follow through with it. It's probably still got a bunch of guys left this early in the game, and oftentimes it just comes back, and yeah, it doesn't really yield as much reward as you would like it to. So I like just keeping the cav here. Good play from both sides, in my opinion. We see over here Esrax going to push 2 loose formation units around here, and start pressuring on this side, but he's being a bit lax with his peeler control, and it is hitting this testudo. Cleo is going to spread, trying to match, and Esrax is going to decide that he's not going to let Cleo pressure him on this side, and he's just going to move back with these units here. Cleo is sending a few units over to that side. I do think he should keep his cav a bit closer to these testudo units. Not his cav, his infantry, sorry, a bit closer to these testudo units. Although they do risk getting manual peeled a bit if you keep them too close. So Cleo to cav out to the far side. Not going to do too much, I think, in this position. Esrax going to move a few units up, going to try and get peeler into these tight formation units, but missing. And he does push them back though, which allows his urban cohort to get some hits in on this testudo unit. Units in testudo should eventually lose to urbans who are just in attack mode or not in guard mode. So this is a good way to get some advantage, but he's going to cop quite a bit of peeler from these urbans either side. Esrax again coming in with more units, going to try and get even more peeler off, and throwing this unit in. So he's trying to be the aggressor, trying to get this early route on the urban cohort here. Yeah. So he's doing a bit of work here, but again, his peeler control not doing too well. Keeps throwing into these testudos, which is not good for him. Cleo going to move a few units up and try and support this unit here with one or two of his own. And Cleo's got a not the best line, to be honest, with these cav units here. Normally, having your cav out this far would kind of mean your defense on this side would be a bit more lax, but as you can see, Cleo isn't attacking at all on this side, and he hasn't given Esrax really any opportunity, or any good opportunity for a charge on this side, so Esrax isn't going for it, and Cleo isn't really giving him that chance. He's being very, very passive. A lot of testudos. This is a lot of testudos. Even for like normal 31k. He's going to charge in here, trying to get a route on some of these units, but it is just a frontal charge, so it shouldn't be too damaging. Gets one unit, gets another one actually, which is pretty good. But Esrax is able to get a sort of counter, but Cleo's realized that Esrax was targeting this unit behind the cav, and he cleverly moves the unit back so that the cav don't actually get a very good charge off, which is very well played, and it's not something a lot of players do. It's very hard to pull off. But Esrax does manage to rout this cav unit, but since it's still got so many men left, it just comes back, and Cleo is able to recenter his cav. With Cleo pushing a little bit here, not too much, just probably plugging this gap. I do think that he should put less units in Testudo, but anyway, Esrax is just going to throw more units onto this side, start to pressure this side a little bit, and he does have a fair number of units here, so I think he could probably just put these guys into tight formation now, since a lot of the peeler has been thrown, and probably just move these guys up and start pressuring this side a little bit more. This unit probably going to lose 5 guys against 69, probably not going to work out. He does have this one unit here, and this unit is unguarded, so he's going to try and rout this Testudo, but I mean it is a Testudo, so we'll see how well that goes. And while his 3 units are going to be charging into that one Testudo, Cleo's going to try and go in with an attack of his own, and this is the danger that you have going for a small charge, is that your opponent will go for bigger fish, and Cleo's found that, and he's just smashed these Testudos quite a lot. But Esrax going to retarget, and he's going to be able to get a pretty nice slice charge here, but Cleo comes back with his cav, and he is able to countercharge on this side, but it looks like he missed it on this side, or maybe the command didn't go through, but he's not going to get a very good counter over here. So he's doing alright over here, but not as much on the opposite side, so he's got to regroup now. Looks like he wasn't able to save this side either. I suspect he just didn't have enough units there. Again, very strange that Esrax hasn't put any of his units into tight formation. I think that really weakens their offensive abilities and ability to take a charge as well. But he has routed a lot of these urbans, and we can see Esrax, his urban advantage is coming through, and I think he might be being a bit too hasty with this thing over here, but he really wants to press his advantage, I guess. He comes in with a nice charge through the center, taking out 3 units. Cleo a bit indecisive with these cav here, but going for a very good back charge over here, killing 2 units off there. And Esrax has got this 1 unit that came in with the back charge, but it's just 1 unit, and it's just not enough to kind of really swing it there for him. He's going to come in here with a charge through the center, trying to get this general as well, but Cleo going to come in with a pretty nice counter here, and Esrax going to come in with his 2 cav left on this side, but he's still got 1 cav unit here, that is being pursued by Cleo. He could probably just recharge it now. Yep, he's going to do that. Cleo going to come in with a counter charge of his own. And Esrax floating one cav unit there. Looks like Cleo got the better of that, coming in with the later counter charge. But it looks like Esrax has the upper hand in the infantry. So he is going to have to use that to his advantage. Looks like Cleo wants to... Yep, he's targeted this unit and he's managed to just get it with a tiny charge there. But it's not too bad for Esrax. He still has his main force over here. And he's got one cav unit here that is ready for a counter charge. But he's got to be ready with this unit, or he might lose it to just cav. Cav-wise, Cleo's got the obvious advantage, but infantry-wise, it's in favor of Esrax. So Esrax has to try and preserve this kind of advantage. That's a pretty damaging charge coming in from Cleo. It's going to come in from 3 sides. Very, very damaging. Esrax going to come in with a counter charge of his own. But we'll see how this turns out. I think Cleo got the better of that engagement. So Cleo going to pull out there, and I think Cleo did get the better of it. One of his cav units routed, but he managed to get rid of a fair amount of Esrax's cav and infantry. Esrax going to charge into the infantry here, but they're doing fine, and he's not going to get that route. Cleo's general's still alive after all this, as is Esrax's, but Cleo's general not winning the infantry fight anytime soon. Esrax though is down in cav, and this is going to have to make him quite worried. One urban cohort here really needs to get into the action on over here rather than chasing cav. But this cav unit is big enough that Cleo can really just do whatever he wants around this blob here. Cleo going to charge in, and Esra's going to come in behind him with these 2 cav, which unexpectedly does very well for him. Again, Cleo charging in with his bigger cav unit. 26 guys, 20 something is pretty healthy for this late in the game. So this cav unit should be able to do a lot of work, and Cleo just needs to kind of utilize this, and he's in pretty good shape. I guess he is worried about this general's unit, but yeah, I think his general's unit has more guys than Esrax's, but Esrax does have an extra unit of urbans here, so he's throwing that in now. But Cleo going to get the charge, and Esrax going to get a charge in as well. Both sides unwilling to kind of give up at this point. It's just so close that even the men, even the unit's morale is fairly good, because they both still think they have chances, and so they're gonna keep duking it out. But yeah, very super close game. General's out here, so liable to getting sniped if Esrax tries to go for him, but it looks like the infantry advantage that Esrax has, 11 and 10 to, about something around 10 probably before it routed. And Esrax is going to stall out long enough for his infantry to win. Cleo still has a chance. He's going to shred through a couple of the units there and try to win like that. I mean, this unit is still very healthy, so he's actually still in it. And it looks like he's shredded off. With that one charge, he shredded up 2 units, 3 units maybe even, and all Esrax has left is his general. So I don't know how he's going to win with 1 unit, but looks like this unit is very tired though. So maybe Esrax has a shot. They're going to fight. 2 units to 9. 2 versus 9. Not looking good for Esrax, the general. 2 to 8. 4 times as many men. Both units very tired. 8-2. Ah, eager. Very tired. Eager. Very tired. So both units, morale is pretty good. I think Cleo could just pull out and go in for another charge here. If he chooses to, but it looks like he's just going to keep them in there. Still 2 versus 8. And this unit looks like might be struggling a little bit. Oh, the general's over here doing his own thing. 1 versus 3. It's not looking pretty for Esrax here. His general has a little dagger, while the Praetorian cavalry also have a little dagger. But the Praetorian cavalry has a shield and a horse, and a helmet as well. So I reckon Esrax's general is going to die. Oh, but they're actually... the odds have improved for Esrax here. It's 7 versus 2. So, I mean, if they can kill another 5 guys, it'll be 2 versus 2. Exhausted. Both units are exhausted. Steady. Shaken. So the Praetorian Cav are actually losing the morale fight here. In terms of morale, they're not doing so good. They're shaken. While Esrax's general is steady. So I guess Cleo's general routing has something to do with that. 1! It's just the general left. Oh, and he's fleeing. Oh, 7 men left. And just doesn't actually manage to kill the general, so Esrax is actually still alive. But very well played to both teams, or both players. I think Esrax should have put more of his guys into tight formation rather than loose formation. I think I'm not sure if there were a lot of units just in loose formation and going in like that, but I think tight formation would really have helped him there. Maybe having a bit better infantry structure would have helped him absorb the charges a bit better. For Cleo, I think maybe too many testudos, but it's up to these guys how they play. So, I mean, after such a close game, can't really question either of them that much. But yeah, very, very close. Cleo making use of that remaining very healthy cav unit to win the game for him. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time.